All right, looks like we're live, and I'm gonna try to watch for comments and stuff. Oh, my voice cracked. I'm trying to watch for comments and stuff
Yes.
that come up in here, but sometimes like the LinkedIn stuff is a little bit broken, so I might check LinkedIn here while we're doing stuff too. Anyways, Lian and Mike Petersen, we're here to do some pair programming. Let me hand it off to Lian. Act like I'm not hosting it too. We're both kind of co-hosting, showing off some DevPod. Lian.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Oh, this is the first time I'm on a live stream with you.
Yeah, I think so.
Exciting. Yeah, I'll see how good of a host you are. Um, yeah, disclaimer, I didn't prepare anything really. I completely forgot to also share this on LinkedIn, so I might do that now, maybe.
But it's a good way to show like, hey, I'm a new developer. So in this situation, I'm the new developer. Leanne's been working here
Yes.
for a while, and she's going to show me how to get up to speed,
Yes.
and we're going to pair program and just take a look at like a basic project. But we're going to do it within the scope of DevPod. So we're going to use DevPod. We're going to show it off. We're going to use a couple of IDEs and show the sharing features and stuff like that are built into them, and then just show how DevPod kind of makes it easier. So kind of a workflow for that. Yeah, I think I watched some of your streams and stuff before I started. I think was it with Marino?
Marino from
Yeah,
Solo. Yeah. I
and
think we did
those are
like
pretty good.
two of them. Yeah, I wanted to revive it, but it's just,
A lot of work.
this is how those things like go. We start out with like this amazing idea of like, oh, and then when we're like 30 episodes deep, we'll create this entire community around it. And then we made like 2 episodes, and then everyone had to travel, and things are just not where they are. Anyhow, I think this it doesn't matter. It because like in the end, this is more about enabling other people and less about us building the project of our lives. So I think we're good. And yes, so in this scenario, it's basically I'm the senior developer. Mike is maybe either a junior or maybe you're just getting onboarded to the project, and we're just gonna showcase like how easy it is to onboard new people. And in the while we're doing it, also talk a little bit about pair programming, remote work, like why is pair programming so great or so important? Why do people love it? How to do it, maybe. Let's see how far we get. And anyone have any questions about pair programming or DevPod or anything, please drop them into the comments.
Yeah,
So
let me
we're
actually
only
bring up.
on LinkedIn, right?
We're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, and we're on Twitch. We're going
Oh,
everywhere.
sweet. Oh, okay, okay.
That way,
Okay.
if you miss this, you'll be able to watch it later on LinkedIn, or you can watch it on YouTube as well if you want to see like some feature or something that we kind of go over. Do you want to
Oh,
start? Do you want me to
yeah.
share your screen first, or you want to see DevPod? Should we look at, I guess, the project we're going to work on?
I feel like you should share your screen first.
Okay, yeah, let's look at what DevPod looks like. All right, so this is DevPod. What I've done before this is actually set up a provider. So I've got Docker running on my local machine, and I've added a Docker provider. I can walk through that again real quick. It's actually very easy. So we'll start out. I'm a new developer. Leanne says, hey, install Docker desktop, get it running. Make sure you have Docker running on your Mac. We're going to be working locally on that. So just go to Docker, add provider. There's advanced options where you can do additional things. I don't need to do that right now, like as a starting out, but eventually like I can actually add some additional things. So I'm just going to do my local machine and add provider. Set it as a default. So now any new workspace that I create is going to come up on my local machine in Docker as a container. So now we're to the workspace section. Now this is where Leanne would share a GitHub repository with me that we're working on. You could, as a new user who just wants to check it out and see how everything works, you could just like use one of these, example repositories, and then just choose your ID and bring it up just to see how it works. But what we're going to do is, I think Leanne's going to send me a link.
I did send you the link. Oh wait, do I need an HTTP link or an SS? It doesn't matter, right? Well, I sent both to
I
you.
think HTTP people will see. All right, you sent it to me on Slack.
No, I sent it to you on
Message. Okay.
StreamYard. It doesn't matter anywhere. So this is a project that I worked on. 4 years ago was my last commit. So the idea was to build a game that is serverless. So kind of like instead of a long running game server, you would have like functions that pop up when you like. I think I did build it on AWS. So probably
Okay.
if you connect to the what is it called, like the API gateway or something, it would like spin up these functions. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that in this project this is a JavaScript project, and we have a bunch of tests.
Okay, let me show you. Sorry, I'm still showing me.
Yeah.
Let me add yours. There you go.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, so this is the project, right? It's called Movie Tycoon because I'm a big fan of tycoon games. And the thing why I chose this was, first of all, it's JavaScript, which is my favorite tech stack, generally speaking. And also it has tests, and tests are, in my opinion, super important in developing software, and also make remote and pair programming pretty interesting. So that's why I chose this. And Mike, you have received the link.
Yep. I'm also checking real quick to see if
yeah.
let me check and see if there's comments. I think we had a comment on there. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't really connect in. All right, someone said hello.
Yes.
Hello, Nikita. There you
user.
go. All right, cool. So let me keep this smaller so I can actually see if we have some comments. All right, so now let me go and share back to my side, and I'll go ahead and create the workspace. All right, so we've got the GitHub URL, so the repository.
And you can also use a local folder, right? It doesn't have to be a GitHub. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, select folder. You could do that instead. We're using the Docker. Go ahead.
Sorry. No. Know what I realized? We don't have a dev container YAML JSON in that. Oh. You know what? That's great. Let's just. That's something good to talk about. I'm just gonna do this. Because it's the dev container JSON doesn't need to be super big, right? Yeah, it can be tiny. I remember that we had in our example, actually, in our own example, we had a dev container JSON that was super small. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and just look into one of the projects where I know we had this. So I can just, so basically all you need to do is create a file.
Do you want me to share yours now? Are you going to do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you should probably do that.
All right, cool. Here we go.
Okay, cool. So I need a new file that is called dev container JSON. And this needs to live in root. Yes. Move it into root. And then I think we can, even with just a single line, this could also work. So I'm just trying to still remember where I put the dev container JSON.
Recently did an example too, so I'll see if I can share that with you.
I think this is all we need. So all we need is an image. I think that's the minimum we need, right? I don't think we need anything else besides this.
Yeah, let me send you one that I did recently too, just in case you want to reference it. And it was in a .dev container folder, so I don't know, that might matter too. Like it might be where it's actually looking for it instead of root, but we'll try it. I think this might work.
So let's do
If not, we're live and we're troubleshooting and we're showing people how to get started with dev container.
Okay, add dev container. I'm already showcasing what not to do because I have 2 changes in my commit that do different things, which is a big no-no. Oh, wait. Oh no, that's just vulnerabilities. It's fine. We're good. Okay. Should be on master now.
Okay, so let me go ahead and let's launch this and see what happens. And if there's any issues, we can troubleshoot. All right, yeah, so I'm using Docker as the provider. I'm going to use VS Code to get started with. Eventually, I think after we do VS Code, we'll show Fleet too, just because maybe people are using Fleet since it's kind of newer. All right, so let's create the workspace. And this is what it looks like. Looks like it's working.
I'm able to find image, pulling it. Okay, so it seems to be fine with the dev container JSON.
Yep. I was doing one for a blog, and I did it for a Jupyter notebook, and that's I think the first time I actually created a dev container. Before that, I'd just been using ones that already had one created. So fun stuff.
Yeah. It's that would be actually a cool feature if there was no dev container JSON, it would just create one for you, right?
Yeah, just a basic default one,
Yeah. It could just be I don't know. I don't know if it's necessary to have that because this is a language specific container, right? It's TypeScript Node.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it could also be just Ubuntu or something.
Just from Ubuntu, yeah, maybe, or even if you could within the workspace itself, you could just write in a couple of default settings if there isn't one in there, so you can dev container any repository, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's kind of what you're saying.
I mean, in this case, because we're working with JavaScript, having Node as a basic would be super useful because you need to run npm and all those things. And then this is a TypeScript project, so it's good that we have the image that has already everything pre-installed. But if it didn't, we could also define stuff in the dev container JSON to install the dependencies that we need.
And give me a moment. It actually brought up VS Code, but I'm sharing a window. So let me stop sharing real quick, and then I will share. I will share my
screen.
VS Code. Yeah. All right. So now you're in VS Code. All right. So I started out by sharing DevPod. Now I'm going to actually bring up the window it automatically brought up, which is going to be in VS Code. All right. And here we are. So
this is really cool. So it's already SSH into this remote address, which is technically still living on your local machine, but it's like remote.
Yep. So now I got everything on there, and then this is how I get set up. Yep. So we've got the most recent update that you made too. Awesome.
Sweet.
Like it's running.
So yeah, what you can do. So now we're like, okay, so you're the new person, and I'm your senior, your superior. So the first thing I'm going to tell you that we have a bunch of tests. We have like such great test coverage, which is really, really good. Because then when you refactor, you want to make sure that nothing's broken. So the easiest way to verify that is to run your tests and make sure that everything's still working. So the way that you could do that, if you open the package JSON, this is like for all the JavaScript people out there. There's a couple of scripts, right? So the way that you would normally work in a project like this is there's a couple of scripts, and you would look at the scripts and like see, okay, what kind of scripts are there? Because that usually gives you an idea of the workflow. So for example, there's like a test script that will run the tests. So you could run these tests by typing into your terminal npm run test. No, just like a single test, just like the name of the script.
Run the test, the name. Yeah. Let's go.
It's just run test.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you don't have much. Okay, next thing is that you need to install. So you need to do an npm install, and then probably get a coffee, because that could take some time. Or, yeah, I think if you just do an npm install and you install all the dependencies.
Okay, so it'll be like,
we'll
I'm not
just
used
have
to
all of them. No, that's fine. That's why we're here.
I'm a goer.
It's your
developer,
first day. It's your first day.
So just npm install, and that'll install
exactly. And then you install all the dependencies, and we just once again ignore the vulnerabilities. We're in JavaScript here. We don't care about them. Run test.
Here we go. Make it bigger. Then I need
so now what it should do, and it is tested. Okay, so now we have all the tests, and like I'm super anal about tests and like how to name them and everything.
Yeah.
So as you can see, like all the tests are still good, and it will tell you also what service we're testing and what behavior we're testing and whether that is still green or not. And this is one of my favorite things about like test-driven development, is that you first write the test, and then you don't implement it, so it will fail, and then you make the test green, and it's very satisfying, especially for someone who has ADHD like myself.
Or it's nice too for new developers to come in with actual testing. So like when I started developing for a project, like they had tests, and I could use those tests to actually figure out what I was doing instead of just writing something. Be like, does this work? I could go and make changes. I could copy test. There was somewhere to start from that wasn't a blank sheet. Right?
Yeah,
like that's the best part.
You learn what the behavior, the intended behavior is already. You have the specs, and like when I basically learned engineering, when I learned software development, I was very lucky to work at a place that was they put a lot of effort and value on quality, code quality, and readability and stuff like that. So to them, it was always like test are the very first thing and the very most important thing. And we didn't even have real documentation. Obviously, we had documentation for users, but the code documentation was only tests. We didn't even have comments as much, because comments deprecate as well. But tests don't, unless they're very badly written, tests shouldn't, deprecate. They should always be up to date, because they would fail if it's not behaving the way that it should be behaving.
All right, I'm going to add yours back, and let's see if yours has the share. Otherwise, yeah. So let's share from yours. Mine's not showing up yet. I need to install it again or like log in.
Okay, so we're gonna share basically this this DevPod instance, right? So
mine just didn't show up on the left.
On that. I'm just trying to find the oh wait, I just didn't click into it. I just want to see the status bar. Okay. Yeah, because this is where the live show.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I will open this up in a moment when you send this to me.
Okay.
And you're running this on DevPod too. So you've got the same setup going on your side. Use DevPod to get this.
Oh, you know what? I did not do that yet.
All right.
Okay, let's do that first.
Let me see if I can find the status.
So I will do the following. I will create the DevPod from my local folder.
So this is like
just to show that it works.
Yep. That's even cooler.
Oh, that's not even working. Oh, it's because my Docker is not running.
That's I make sure my Docker's off every
single time. Okay. Well, to restart it, I have to like move out and then go back in, I think, right? And then it should be able to. Okay, I think
we have to rebuild
We're waiting on Kubernetes still. I think I also tried to get it running on GKE. I don't remember if I finished that setup or not. So we can try that also if we have time. Okay, I think Kubernetes is alive now. So let's click back into. I'm clicking open, and it just like should redo the entire thing. Yes. Nice. Even though I think I could do with a restart button inside. That would also, I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
In this view? Yeah, like a hey, retry.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a rebuild, retry, redo your thing.
We're creating feature requests and blueprints live here. That's what we're working on.
We're just being honest. I'm not even trying to be facetious here. Okay. Starting VS Code. So it's probably starting a new VS Code instance for me now. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. I'm moving this here. So yeah, the difference is that now it's SSH'd into the remote container, which is movie tycoon spike.devpod. And now I will share this. Oh no. Oh God. Because this is a new instance of VS Code. I need to reinstall LiveShare. Because it's installed on my host machine's VS Code, but not in the in this one. But this is fairly quick. We're already done.
I'll saw it on my side too, just so it'll show up.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm doing LiveShare. Starting a session. It's already copied the URL into my clipboard. I pasted it to.
All right, I'm coming in and then I'll reshare mine. Oh, open in Visual Studio.
I feel like you should now be sharing your screen just to prove that we're not like doing anything in the background.
Let me reshare. Yeah, let me reshare. All right, so here we go. And I think we're connecting. Let me make sure I don't have like two of these running. I don't think so.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Wait, is this your DevPod? Because I think this is your DevPod.
Maybe. Let me try opening it up again. Let me share yours. Yeah. Let me open up the same URL. I'll join within like there. It'll make it a little bit easier.
Oh, I thought you would just share your screen now while you're trying to connect to my instance.
So I don't want to post the URL. People may try to join, but I don't think so.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Have some random person.
I mean, if people want to join, they can join. Oh wait, please don't. I don't know about the security things. I don't think I have not made sure there's no container breakouts are possible. Oh, okay, sweet.
All right, now I'm sharing.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I think also like your UI is just so much prettier than mine.
Here we go. Yeah, I said I'm using vampire, and I'm using Dracula. I like to say vampire instead. All right, so now we're in the same thing. So what file do we want to start out with?
So let's. I mean, this is a game where basically we are building a movie studio. We could do any of them. Like let's break a test maybe.
All right, so you're the real developer. I'm going to bring up what you're working on.
Go to any of the tests, right? And then whatever you want. Just pick one at random.
Writing service.
Yeah. So this is about writing a screenplay, and so just change any of the tests that you want to change.
All right. Do you want to show you in here too?
Maybe change a number or like an expectation. Like this is a lot of we're getting a lot into like
Few bars.
No, I feel like that is because I wrote the test so nice. What we could do? Okay, you know what? I'm going to type something on my end.
Okay. So you're going to show me, hey, we're going to start out with tests.
Okay,
we're going to
what we're going to do is to verify that all of our tests are working. If you scroll way down to the end, yes, my cursor's there. So we're going to make a test break.
Okay.
Well, I think it's not to have been. It's been a while since I was in
okay.
So now we're flipping the expectation around. Exactly. And then you can run npm run test. And it should break. Either because the syntax is wrong. Oh, you're not in the folder.
This doesn't give me the right terminal. Maybe we can show
No, you need to CD into the right place.
Oh, see, my terminal is bringing up my local things. Let me find the right actual terminal.
Oh, it's being too smart.
I'm a noob.
No, it's just like this is too smart for you.
It is. I think so. Like I'm doing it locally. I'm like, oh, it's not the right thing. All right, so where do I? Let me share to you while I get this working, so we can see what you see, and then let me make sure I get it working. Oh, there it is.
Wait, okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say if you just open a new terminal, it should work. Okay, so now if you run your tests, it should have broken.
I don't think I have all the features trusted because I can't type here, but I can watch what you're doing. So npm run tests.
Okay, so if I type, you will see it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's even better.
Yep. There we go. Okay. So you can show me without giving me full access to your machine to run stuff, which is even better.
Yeah, technically. Okay, so there's an assertion error because expected this to not have been called with these arguments, but it was. So this is what fails. And then this is the whole thing of like test-driven development, and also why I think it's just beautiful with pair programming. So in pair programming, usually one person is the driver and one is the person in the not the back seat, what's that, passenger seat.
Passenger.
And then the person on the passenger seat is a navigator, and the navigator doesn't type, right? It's only the person in the driving seat that types. So usually what we would do is you could do it this way. Either the navigator writes the tests and then the driver implements the code. This is something that we used to do in the past, which is quite fun.
Okay.
Or the navigator will just say, oh, I think what we could do here is set, I don't know, not even with the solution, but like, oh, let's just set this as a variable here. Let's just like decide that we want to set this as a variable, and then you have to like implement it. Okay. Setting this as even setting it as a variable is probably too specific. It's more like, oh, let's come up with a random number generator here, and then you would implement it, right? And I would never tell you how to implement, and we would discuss what we think is the best type of solution. But I would just let you do things, and then we can discuss. Because since you're the junior, I would let you just try things. And then we can discuss why things are good or why things are not good.
You're telling me this is a leak code interview and you're here to judge me. It's test-driven development, right? Like you write the test, this is what I expect, and then I go in and try to make it do that. Right?
I was in an interview like that actually, and that was actually not that bad. I actually liked it. It was with Google, which already pretty surprising that they didn't give me this kind of gotcha type interview.
They wrote a test and had you write out how to do it, or?
Yeah, exactly. They had this. Well, even the test wasn't complete. It was like, we want to build this thing, and then how would you do this? And here's a test that you can fill out if you want to. They were giving me the option. So I was like, oh yeah, cool. That was actually a pretty good interview. I mean, this is a bit of a side tangent, but what I really liked about it is that it was a coding interview, but they were more interested in how I approach a problem. And then when I didn't get as far, or when I didn't get any further, then the interviewer just gave me a tip, like, oh, have you thought about this? To just remove that block in my head. And that was really, it was more collaborative. So that was really nice. I was really surprised because it was a Google interview, and I was expecting Google to be super annoying with their interviews.
Well, the rest of better than some random sort this tree or something. That sounds some random thing you're not going to do in your job. That's actually something you're doing your job. Yeah.
I know that's the weirdest thing. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so I have now broken the test, and then Mike, what do you think we should do? What do you
Well, I
think
think
we should
so.
do next to
When I have
unbreak the
like
test?
to unbreak it, yeah. Either take out the knot, or I would go in and I would make it so that, that fixes the test, or I'd go into what this is actually testing and make sure that whatever my positive value is like a negative value or something like that, or make sure that what I'm putting out does this.
Yeah, actually,
All right,
when we read this, because there's like, okay, the writing
let's read it.
service, there's two tests. Should start the process to create a new screenplay for user, and you should be able to buy a screenplay. And when you buy a screenplay, what we expect is that when I call the function buy screenplay, we expect that on the state service, so the service that hosts the state, add screenplay to user is being called with these two, right? With these two variables. That makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I would just take out the call with either I take out screenplay or user ID, or I'd add something or something like that then, right? Like to make it so that they would be like a knot. I mean, that's not going to give us our result we really want, but it'll make the test work. Right? That's also, I guess, the bad thing to do is just to develop to make a test work if the test is flawed.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like your tests need to be actually good. Like you don't but that's why if you write the tests first, you don't write tests that will fit your code, but rather it's the other way around. And this is also why your test should always fail until you actually have implemented it. Right? And that's why you work this way, to make absolutely sure that your test is actually testing what you think it will, rather than you accidentally have an assertion where you assert that true is true or something like that. That happens. But
so
maybe
where do I go?
So if we're talking about, let's say we want to keep this logic here. So we want to make sure that we do when we buy a screenplay, we do add a screenplay to this user. But maybe while we're here, we could test like stuff that shouldn't happen.
Okay, so
what
maybe
are things that you think shouldn't happen here that we could
so
test?
like what I could do then is like say we went, I would just make a copy. So like if I'm coming in as a new developer and I'm not pair programming by myself, what I would do, right, like is just copy this, right, and then paste it, and then start. Like maybe I'm writing something that we want to have more than screenplay user ID. Maybe we want country or something like that, or we want like some other thing, right? Like so, like that's how I would start testing and learning how the code base works. And then I need to go find this somewhere, and obviously I need to. I don't know. Do I need to rename this? I'm used to like Go test a little bit, but I don't think this was actually named. It's just under a single name. I need to go now and find a place where I can also use country, right? Like maybe this is I add screenplay to user with like user country or something like that. All right. So where is this actually? I'm not. Where do I go next?
How would you try and find it? So in JavaScript, all your source code is under the source folder.
Okay.
And then
services, right?
It's not a huge project yet.
Writing service. Okay, that makes it a little bit easier. Yeah, getting into like a project that's huge. That's why it's good.
With VS Code, you could probably also like command click if you're on the Mac, or control click. It would probably lead you there.
It'll tell me what it is. Yeah, like where is this actually defined?
If you click on the function, maybe it will get you there. The add screenplay to user function, maybe. It's not always super. Yeah, if you click on the one in like line 60 or something, it will probably get you there. It got me there.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, cool.
So this is where I'm doing it. Oh, this is where I've defined it. There's a definition of it.
Exactly.
Cool. Hopefully everyone can bear with me since I'm a new developer. This is what's for though. All right, so state service. So we were doing writing service too. So this is where it's defined, but in writing service, is that where the logic actually is? Yeah, here. Right. So this is where by screenplay, it has this, right? Like it's testing this. And what I guess I would first have to do is come in here and I would have to define what a country is, right? Like, well, you don't have user.
Maybe. I mean, if you go to the test that you've written right now, what we're expressing with the test is that when we call writing service with the screenplay and the user ID, what we expect is that in the function add screenplay user, we have screenplay user ID and the country. So the first question would be, where does the country come from?
Yeah, how do they put that in? Or like
exactly. Do we pass it into by screenplay, or do we find it out maybe from the user ID? Do we have to go to the database, find out the user, grab the country from there? This is a design decision that we can make now. And we make it, and then we cement it by writing it into our test.
Awesome. I don't think we have to. I don't know how deep do you want to go. Do you want to keep going on this, or should we show off like Fleet just to kind of show more off the functionality? Or
just to answer the question, like in this case, I would probably just pass in country to the function by screenplay, because otherwise it would be so expensive to go to the database and like get the user just to get the country, right? This is what
like
I would
have to define
do.
country somewhere still, right? Like
there, and then you need to pass it into the function on line 28. So that's a function.
Oh
signature.
yeah, I see. Yep.
Yeah.
And
country,
then you just pass a string.
Yes, probably. And then this should not be. Oh, it's still red because in add screen producer, in the definition of that function, we have not added that to the signature yet. Normally, I wouldn't tell you this. I would give you more time and space to think about this, but
your exercise muscles that haven't been used in a while because I've
no, it's very much the same for me. So yeah, you would probably here do the same thing. And as you can see, it's not even implemented yet. And this was like the last time I did it was like 4.
So it's like that. And then are we saving?
Okay, so now what we need to do for the test is we have to pass in the country here, and we have to define the country. We didn't do that yet, so we need to I will do this for you because this is JavaScript specific, and I guess
see. But then also like now we've broken the other test, so we'll have a test that's working, and we've broken another one, so we have to go into
perfect. This is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we're doing USA as a country. So this is how I define
okay, cool,
a constant
within the test.
And yes, exactly. So this only lives in the scope of the test.
Yep.
And then this test is broken because we changed the signature, and now we don't pass in a country here. So we might want to copy paste this and just
yeah. If you're gonna update it to always have a country, yeah, you might as well have that.
Yeah, it has to be. This is and then I'm gonna just change this. It doesn't matter if it could be the same title. It doesn't matter to the runtime, but it matters to you as a human being to figure out which test it was.
And someone to read it later.
Let's run the test. Let's see if it works.
All right, I think you have to run on your side again too. I don't think I haven't installed it.
Okay. Have
cool. Writing ability.
Okay. Well, you can write in the code. You just can't use my terminal then.
Which is probably better.
Okay, so this is an error. Which errors are always good, right? When you have tests, errors are always good because they will usually tell you what you need to fix. Okay, so here expected 2 arguments but got 3. So in this test,
somewhere else is doing the same thing.
In this, I think it's just this test because we're basically testing the same thing here. And then this is so if I just test here instead of just testing, I think it's called. Instead of testing how it's been called, we just test that it has been called, and then the next one we test which properties to call it with. Obviously, you probably wouldn't do it in real life because why have 2 tests for that? But this is a way that we could do it that would hopefully work. Oh, it doesn't work. Great. Okay.
So it's usually a full 3 to 4 hours, 5-hour thing. you'll be doing, just going through.
I mean, this is what you do as an engineer. It's just trying to figure things out. I'm guessing we are probably still short one somewhere, but
gotcha.
Whatever. We're not trying to fix this.
Yeah, we're just.
You want to fix this?
No, let's. No. I want to show Fleet. I want to show Fleet too, just to show that we've got
let's do it. Let's do
an alternative. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute, and I'm gonna get. Actually, I'll share DevPod. So give me a second, and I'll share DevPod and show the same workflow with Fleet, and then I will share that with you. So I think if you bring up Fleet on your side, what I'll end up doing is let me share. Yeah, let me share
Fleet on. I've never used it in my entire life, so maybe this time I can be the junior and you're the senior.
Oh, do you want? Okay, well, let me bring it up and then I'll share it with you on your side. Yeah. All right. So
tell me what I need to do.
All right, cool. So let's start out. I'm gonna create another workspace. I'm just gonna use a default thing just because we're just showing how it works. So I'm just gonna use Go.
Cool.
Like that.
Yeah, let's do it.
And then I'm gonna use Fleet. It's gonna run in the Docker provider, and I'm going to create a workspace. Now, this is going to do is it's going to set everything up. It's going to get Fleet running. It's going to download Fleet into there so I can connect to it. And then it'll bring up a browser with the Fleet URL, which will open up the Fleet IDE for me. And then within the Fleet IDE, I'll share that in a minute. I'll end up sharing a URL with Lian to connect to it. So similar thing as VS Code. It's got the button a little bit more readily available at the top. It takes a minute to download Fleet into here and get it running. But as soon as that's up, we'll so I mean, anyone else have any questions or anything like that? I know we're just we're showing a lot of like just pair programming, but the idea behind it is like these tools should hopefully make it easier for you. All right.
Yeah.
So I got Fleet coming up. Give me a second. And I will share Fleet. Let me get
and I feel like pair programming is something that when we used, so as I said, this company where I basically learned my chops, they were doing it, they were so good at this. Everyone had their own keyboard and their own mouse. So we would like work on the same computer, but everyone had their own keyboard, right? So we wouldn't even have to fight over it. It's like, oh, this is your turn now, and now it's my turn. They were just so good at these things that when I changed companies, I didn't realize that not everyone is like so good at pair programming. And so I love it. I think it's super useful, especially for knowledge sharing. And that's also like that was a really good way for them to get kind of like the knowledge across about like, this is how this feature works and how we implemented it. Because two people would always work on this at the same time, and then they would rotate, and then it would be other two people. So you would always like have this knowledge transfer while you're working. Like knowledge transfer is not an explicit task to do.
All right, so I've shared the URL with you. So we'll get you to copy paste it in and connect first, and then I'll move over to your screen.
Okay. Where do I have to type things in?
I think you bring up Fleet, and I think it'll be like a collaboration button, maybe. Let me see. I don't know what yours.
There is a file, and there and I can do collaboration or connect to. I will do join session.
Yep.
And then I will connect. I thought if you just show me like going through the wait, it's the URL. I always forget about that. But then again, you can only see like a tiny part of. Oh no!
You might just bring the URL up. If you click it, it might try to open it in there too. Fleet's new, right? So people are kind of learning it. Like it's still beta. It's kind of new. Like they're bringing it up for.
So it didn't work for the
competitor VS Code
join session. Maybe I need to like try something else. Did you do connect to or session?
I don't. So for on my side, my side's gonna be different. I just did add and then send you the URL. I don't know if you might be able to just open it up in a browser, like if you click it from within the chat, maybe.
Okay.
Because
you know what?
The Fleet
that
stuff
makes
goes
sense.
to, like,
maybe I need
stuff.
Just the session ID and not the entire well, it does say session URL. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. I'm clicking the browser. Open Fleet.
This is the developer's first experience with it.
The thing is, I have Fleet installed, and for some reason, it installed Fleet again now because it's I don't know.
You don't have the right version. You didn't update to the latest version over the
last. No, I did not update to the latest version, but I would expect it to update for me instead of open it. What is going on?
As soon as it shows up on your side, I can see down the bottom. I'll add you to the.
We're not. Oh, okay. Here we are. Okay, got it. You can share it.
All right, so here's Leanne's view. And it's weird for me for Fleet, like you have to actually end up clicking like the top left to show how you want the browse to happen. I don't know if you can set that as default. Yeah, there you go. The panels, like the show left panels will show the navigator and that kind of stuff. Maybe it's because people just want like a very like basic view. All right, so I am in Hello Go. See what it looks like on your side if you're in there with me. Oh, there we go. Can you see me?
Oh, I can see you. Yeah.
There I am.
Hello.
Awesome. And I mean, this is the idea behind this is just it's the same thing. So you can do this with Fleet. You can do it with VS Code. It's pretty much just using DevPod to open up a Git repository and then using the IDE's ability to share it with someone. Makes it so you can do easy collaboration on the same thing that you're working on, like pair programming and that kind of stuff, or even explaining to somebody because it's easier. I think sometimes it's easier for someone to highlight something, whereas like maybe like if they're just sending you to like something on Git and saying, hey, look at this, look at these couple of lines. It's easier for someone to highlight exactly what they're talking about and show it to you instead of that. And then you can ask questions instead of just like a I don't know, they just send it to you on Slack. Here, go look at this. So there's some benefits.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's very true. Like if I just mark like, oh, these lines. Oh wait, can you share your screen again? I just
Yeah.
want to see like
see what it looks like.
how
on
much
here. Right.
power I have over your side. So if I
Yeah, can you run something?
Ah,
Let's
this
see.
is so nice. No, I don't know
Oh, that is
anything
cool.
about
Yeah,
Go. I don't even know how to execute.
I can see you highlighting, which is nice too.
yeah.
It's good for, I guess,
So if
streams
I'm like,
too.
oh, here, Alex, I'm creating a new user object. I'm guessing do you use objects in Go? I don't know anything about Go.
So then I would. This is was it Go? I used to be a Go developer, but now like I'm.
I used to be somewhat of a developer myself.
All right, so that's not gonna work for us.
Main
Anyways,
package.
technical
Wait,
marketing
it's,
engineer. I don't
it's
pretend to be a
probably Go
developer.
run server, is it not? It's not in Go root.
It's something. It's something, and it works. Right, but I just don't remember what it is. Anyways, so we're trying to get to like where we wanted to be at. I don't know if we have questions or anything like that. We just wanted to do a quick stream, kind of showing collaboration and how you can use DevPod to quickly get something running. Right, like so you don't have to teach someone everything about like how to get started with it. You just like put it in DevPod. It'll bring up VS Code for them. You can teach them now to do live share, but you don't have to teach them how to set up VS Code and all that. And there's more stuff you can do with the dev container to make it a little bit easier for somebody to install stuff and make it look a certain way, or they can even do it in their browser, right? So
yeah, I mean, we got this started in like a minute, even though I had no idea how. Like all I did was install Fleet, nothing else, and this worked actually really well.
Sweet.
So,
all right, so
I don't think there are any questions. So I think we're
check.
Okay.
I check on LinkedIn again real quick, just because, like I said, it doesn't always bring up comments and stuff like that.
I see. Okay.
Which is kind of a demo thing. Like I think we'll probably have more stuff like this in the future. We'll probably show off. Maybe we'll show off a Jupyter Notebook or something like that too. We can get into some.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Some training. We can go train some models and stuff locally and see how slow that is. Or on remote.
Also, we could also talk more about like development paradigms and remote work, like how to work effectively async and all of that. I think that could be super interesting, just as a side while we show off DevPod stuff.
Let's say
let us know if you want that. Yeah,
join our Slack. I guess we could start like saying this. Join our Slack.
Slack.loft.sh. And because we were like literally looking for stuff to do. Not that we're bored or anything, but like how do you learn and what kind of content are you interested in and all of that. Like development is definitely something that I have more experience with than system administration. So finally, all that knowledge is going somewhere.
We're both on Slack too. So if you want, you can like reach out and ask us something. Like if you have questions about DevPod, or ask it in the channel. The community should be able to answer, and then some of our engineers and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But
or LinkedIn or anything. Yeah. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I've given up on that platform. But other than that, you can find me pretty much anywhere.
But thanks for joining, everyone. I think we'll try this again. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully, other people had fun too. But yeah, we'll be back.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Have a good one, everyone. See ya.
Bye.